This is the new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. It's new, it's facelifted. Let's take a first look. The Rubicon is the top-spec variant of the Jeep Wrangler line, putting all the off-road features and a little bit of creature comforts in one place. The refreshed Wrangler, called the JL2, was launched a few months ago, and now we have here the Rubicon. This is priced at 5,780,000 Philippine pesos. And let's start with the changes here in front. So first, the most obvious difference here is the new front grille. So this is now just a whole one-piece grille over here. No longer the 7-slot grille, no longer 7 separate grills. So now we only have one whole grille with the part of it under the headlights. And also, we still have the 7 highlights over here. So that's what replaced the 7 slots before. And also we have new full LED headlights. So it's now standard. Not exactly new, but it's now standard. The previous one, you had to LEDs. You had to add more money. We also have LED fog lights down there. The LED turn signals are here, and we also have daytime running lights over there and around daytime running light over here. And another new thing here are the wheel arches. So the height has been increased, so it gives us more space for the wheels to play around when you're off-roading, high speed, low speed, whatever. Just gives more room and also improves the stance of the vehicle. And I think this will also improve visibility from inside because you can actually see them when driving, especially if you're taller. Then of course, since this is the Rubicon, we also have the Rubicon name on the hood. So you have to brag, Rubicon. Brag to everyone that you have the top-of-the-line Wrangler. And since we're already here on the side, so I did forget to mention here towards the front, we have our unlocking thing for the hood. So I won't do it now. It's really hot to touch the car because it's black. And we also have here new 17-inch two-tone alloy wheels exclusive to the Rubicon. They're wrapped in 285/70 BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. So they look very meaty, they look very tough, and definitely very capable. Then over here behind me, we also have the trail rated 4x4 badge. Every Wrangler has that, the Jeep Wrangler name over there. These very nice plastic side mirrors, and also the hinges for our doors here. So the doors actually are removable. Every Jeep Wrangler's like that, and when you cannot really lock it that much. Or yeah, I'm wrong. You can actually lock it in positions now, and when you close it, it sounds really nice. We have removable doors again. Of course, we have removable roof, removable. This window is also removable, and it's also finished in a black plastic now compared to the body color on the previous one. So this will make it look more rugged. And now that we're moving towards the back, we do have again the raised wheel arches just like in front over here, same reason. And then we have our LED taillights as well. So it comes with the LED light package that you used to have and now standard. And also the turn signals here are actually red, very American. And then one thing I really like about the Wrangler is the spare tire mounted on the tailgate. So this is very rare these days. Something that I wish would really come back in newer SUVs. And then to open it, just pull it and it opens towards the side. You will see our mess back there. And what I really like about this also is the split tailgate. So we have that and the opening glass. So I really like that. And we have, I'm not sure how much space this is exactly, but you can see that we do have quite the mess over here. And yeah, it just pretty much fits everything. And when you fold the seats down, just a trivia, I was able to fit a big box TV. So, or rather a big box that had a TV inside. So yeah, it's lots of space. We also have a subwoofer over there for our Alpine sound system. So when you close it, very easy. Just pull that down and slam this shut. And now let's get inside the Wrangler. So this one comes standard with running boards, so it's gonna be a bit harder to get inside. So you really have to pull yourself up, especially when you're a smaller person just like me. But anyway, again, I told you about that door. That sounds really nice, very metallic, or just very rugged. Anyway, let's start the car first. So push button start, and the key is not here. Can I have the key? So now let's push the button and starts right off. Very nice sounding engine. We'll talk about it in just a bit. So anyway, another big change in this car is the interior. So we actually have a new center stack over here. This was already seen on the Sport variant, and the Rubicon gets the same, of course. So that's a 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Uconnect 5, and it just looks sleeker here inside overall. So a sleeker set of vents, no longer round, and that looks very nice. Materials are also better than the Sport. So we have soft touch leather wrapping the dashboard. We have this soft touch or perforated leather or something, just patterned leather over here on the right side with red stitching for the Rubicon. So that's very nice as well. The steering wheel is still the same familiar Jeep steering wheel, very big with red stitching as well, and it's tilt and telescopic adjustable. Not much adjustment like the old one, but yeah, pretty good. All good over there. And the horn, so very nice American European car horn. And right here in the gauges, we have two analog gauges with a 7-inch display in the middle. Very nice. Does show us a decent amount of information like our trip computer and yeah, other information, fuel economy and such. So that's all over there. And going back here to the center, we do have some storage up here. We can put some small items, very small items. Then going back to the screen, it is very nice to use. Actually, it's very easy to understand and very easy to navigate. So we do have various pages over here, such as for the off-roading. Shows us different information about the vehicle, such as your locking differentials and axles, the pitch and roll of the car, and even a front camera view. So this car doesn't have a 360 cam, but it does have a front camera for off-roading purposes. And we also have wireless Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. So as usual, very simple and easy to use. And again, this features Uconnect 5. And yeah, so let's move down. We still have the same set of controls over here for the air conditioning and our infotainment. So we have our volume knob over here. We have our different aircon controls, all volume, or rather all buttons, not volume. And we also have our heated steering wheel, heated seats, and the display, by the way, is up here. So unfortunately, we don't get a display over here, but yeah, everything is up here, and we can also control various information here. Not a fan, but at least we do have these. And moving down, we have our window controls, so auto down, but unfortunately, they're not auto up. So considering that they're over here, they should be auto up. Anyway, more USB ports. So we have two USB ports here, A and C, our auxiliary input as well. We still have that at 12-volt power outlet here. We have our front and rear diff lock controls over here, some off-road modes. I'm not really familiar with that, unfortunately. And we have some auxiliary switches as well for added accessories. Then our shifter over here is very nice. It feels very meaty, so very nice to feel that. And we also have our off-road selector over here, which is very nice as well. Very rare these days. Two cup holders, a place to put your phone or maybe your key, so fits very nicely over there. And our manual parking brake as well. Center armrest here with lots of storage, dual storage, by the way, dual level storage. And then for the seats, these are still the same seats, of course, not an all new model, so we don't really expect to find new seats, but they're wrapped in Napa leather, which is very nice, with red stitching since this is the Rubicon. And we also have the Rubicon name embroidered onto the seat back. And they're also very comfortable. They don't look very comfortable, but they actually are. And they're both power adjustable here in front. And before we move to the back, you can actually remove the roof like I mentioned earlier. And the front one is the easiest to remove. So you can just put this down, open these levers and stuff over here, and just push it up. And I guess you'll need a little bit of help, but yeah, it works. And yeah, let's just put the B-roll over there. And now we're at the back of the Rubicon, and this is pretty much the same with any other Wrangler out there. So we still have the same aircon vents back here. They're kind of weak actually, considering it's really hot here because the roof has less insulation. But anyway, yeah, so it's really expected. We have two USB ports, rather four, not two. We have two USB-C and two USB-A ports, and then a 150 watt or 115 volt outlet over there, three-pronged outlet. So you can charge your laptop here or other devices. So we're currently charging a GoPro. And we also have more storage down there, and also these net pockets here. I have my phone there. Also on the door, we have that. And the door panel is wrapped in soft touch plastics and a little bit of leather, just like in front. And then as for the seats, they're a bit flat. They're not the most comfortable. So you can see that even if I'm rather small at 5 feet and 7 inches, my thighs are barely supported. Only my butt is on the seat. And we can stretch our legs over there, so that does provide pretty decent legroom. Headroom is also pretty good. And that's despite this being here. So This is actually our speaker. So no speakers on the door since they're removable. And then here we have a center armrest with 2 cup holders and a little bit of storage as well for your phone over there. Yeah, very decent here at the back. And now we're driving the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. So I won't really dive deep into how this drives completely because it's very similar to what we already showed you in our review of the Sport, the pre-facelift Sport before. So it's not a new generation, it's just a facelift. So driving is the same. In fact, the engine is completely the same. It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged gasoline engine that produces 268 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque, compared to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it's nowhere near like how the Pentastar V6 that we tried before in the Gladiator was. I still miss that engine actually, but it'll do. This does perform really well. It has enough power, it has enough torque for generally anything that you need to do with this. I guess you can call it a truck. So yeah, it can do pretty much anything anyway, and off-roading is really this vehicle's forte. So we won't be doing that. We'll just show you some clips of it on a minor, a very little dirt track. So that's all the off-roading we can do for now. But yeah, it will really perform very well. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But yeah, so power is good, torque is good. Shifting could be a bit better maybe with the 8-speed automatic. It does have the tendency to hunt for gears, but it's not really that much of a problem anyway. And it's still very smooth, the acceleration, although the sound could be better. But again, no problems at all when it comes to the engine really in general. So talking about the off-roading, this does perform really well, at least on the dirt track. So it's expected the type of the vehicle it is, what it is basically is an off-roader, and it performs as it should. And there's really not much I can say about that. I'm not a professional off-roader. I do like off-roading a lot, but yeah, I'm not a professional and I can't really talk about that much. But we'll focus on how this performs on road because that's where probably 95% of owners of the Wrangler will just keep their Wranglers, especially the Rubicon, considering the amount of money that they're paying for it. So acceleration, again, all good. Power, all good. Torque, good. And the ride quality is somewhat of a mixed bag. Right now, it feels a bit stiff. It feels a bit bumpy at a very low speed of around 40 kilometers per hour, below 60 kilometers per hour. But if you do come across some big bumps, you won't actually feel them. The suspension does a very good job of absorbing those. And yeah, it just feels smooth overall with a little bit of bumpiness. It's like driving a truck, or generally any off-road vehicle feels like this. It's also a bit bouncy, but not too much. Some other off-roaders are way too bouncy, but this one is just fine. As for NVH insulation, that's something that you really can't expect too much from this SUV. So that's considering the fact that this has removable doors, removable roof. So yeah, there'll be a little bit more noise, vibrations in this cabin. So road noise does have the tendency to get a bit loud, especially when you're at higher speeds or even just at low speeds because of those all-terrain tires. But I don't mind. That's the sacrifice you'll have to make when you take or when you put all-terrains in your car. And then outside noise also does have the tendency to really come into the cabin, especially when you're driving inside the city. So yeah, it can get a bit loud in here. But again, those are sacrifices that you'll have to make when you have this car. Anyway, it feels good to drive anyway. Light steering as well, although it does have a little bit of a dead spot, so you can actually turn the wheel a bit and it won't do anything. But yeah, that's typical Jeep Wrangler things. Even other off-roaders like the Suzuki Jimny and even the Toyota FJ Cruiser, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I drove one, but yeah, I think it also has a bit of a dead spot. And once you're on the highway like we are right now, it does feel pretty okay, although again, there's that little dead spot and it is getting quite loud in here. And then the steering is already misaligned, but yeah, that's what's here in this new unit. So let's just see how it is for the other cars. But as for fuel economy, we did have this car for a few days, unlike most of our first impression videos. So at least that figure I can give you. In the city, we can get about 7 kilometers per liter max in light traffic conditions. And in heavy traffic conditions, it will go down to as much as maybe like, or as little as 4 kilometers per liter. So it really drinks fuel like the V6 engine that we had before. On the highway, on the other hand, we were able to do around 9 or 10 kilometers per liter. So yeah, could be better. I'm sure that they gave us a smaller engine for fuel economy, but it didn't really work out. But I guess we'll have to check again next time when we have more time with this car and the chance to take it somewhere else. As for safety, there are a couple of new things with the Rubicon. So there are now some advanced driver assist systems. So we have autonomous emergency braking, and we also have adaptive cruise control, among others. So we can talk about the adaptive cruise control, which we tried earlier, and it does perform really well. Although just make sure not to confuse yourself with the two buttons here. One is for the cruise control and another is for the adaptive cruise control activation. So two different buttons, just make sure to press the right one, or rather the one on the left, which is the right one. So yeah, it does work pretty well. It's not a system that really feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like you're gonna be scared while using it. So it just feels like you can be confident in trusting the adaptive cruise control system of this car. As for visibility in this car, I forgot to mention that it is pretty good overall, but there are a few concerns that were already my concerns from way back. So, well, at least we do have the wide view in front, the wide view on the side, because of the boxy shape that really provides us with excellent visibility. But the downside is, despite the wheel arches having been raised, for my comfortable driving position, I still cannot see them. I really have to look over. So there is that. And then the side mirror here in the driver's side is new. It is now the one that is really zoomed into the vehicles behind you. So that will take some getting used to. I think some people will probably just look for the old one and swap it out. So yeah, it will really take a little bit of getting used to. I almost hit a different car the first time I drove this. So yeah, I guess that's it for now for our first look and impressions at this new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. We'll get back to you with our complete thoughts and impressions on this once we are able to borrow it again. So yeah, thanks for watching and don't forget to hit subscribe.